Hello, everybody. I'll give it a few seconds to just load up, but welcome back to Dan's All About Arsenal 1886. I kind of wanted to do a bit of a weekly kind of roundup. Obviously, International Week, not loads going on, but obviously we want to talk about all the kind of highlights this week that have been in the news or been touched on so far. Obviously, if anyone is kind of clicking on live, want to interact, we'd love to hear any kind of comments and stuff would be fantastic. And if not, if you're watching this later on, drop your comments, always appreciated, and I'll always reply to them where I can. So, but this week, I hope everyone's had a good one, and we're now coming into the sort of second international game. Did everyone watch it? What people have been doing? What did you think of the performance? Obviously, we'll come on to that in a moment, but I'm going to add the slideshow in that I've kind of prepared for today for the sort of weekly roundup. And yeah, would love to hear what everyone is doing. So, but otherwise, here's the little thumbnail for today. So, just so we can kind of get used to that as well. So, first one designed with my face on it. So, what do you think? But in the meantime, obviously, there has been quite a lot of news and talk about the expansion for the Emirates Stadium. I mean, I don't know about you. I heard initially it was the initial extra 2,000 seats. You think it's not going to make much difference? Then there's 10,000, there's 20,000. So I kind of found the various kind of mock-ups and probably AI images of what the stadium could potentially look like. We know they're using kind of Real Madrid's Bernabeu as an example of what it could be like with the expansion. So here's a couple of different images, and I'm interested to see what you think. But obviously, number one, we've got this one here, kind of slightly similar sort of shape, slightly more rounded. I think they're talking about making the seats a little bit more kind of vertical potentially. So that'd be interesting. And I mean, if you're a season ticket holder, what's your thoughts? We may be going over to Wembley, is the rumor as well. So that's something else we've got to take into consideration how that works. But would it then open up the door to having more season ticket holders in a much, much bigger stadium? And I think it will be one of the biggest stadiums here. So they're talking anywhere between sort of 70 to 80,000 potentially, which, 60,000 is decent already, but we want to kind of, I think, surpass sort of Tottenham and stuff like that. So something to be kind of watching out for. I like some of the mock-ups, in fairness. I really kind of like that red kind of glow bulb. It looks really kind of futuristic, and it'll kind of bring us back into where we are now, as a club. I think, we're striving to be the biggest club, especially in North London, which we already are. North London is red and everything else. So, but I do like some of the concepts and stuff that I've seen coming out. But yeah, this another one the same as 80,000 sort of stadium. And then there's a couple of other images of other sort of futuristic kind of shots we're sort of seeing. I think that one down in the bottom left is kind of, I kind of like that style and design. I'm not too keen on the other ones, to be fair, the other one on the right. But yeah, let me know your thoughts. But if it does expand, it's going to make a hell of a difference, obviously, for incomes of the team. Obviously, we take a hell of a lot, back from each match day, but obviously we're paying these players a hell of a lot of money as well. So all these kind of extra things from a commercial point of view make a big difference for the club, the future, and hopefully it all continues. But, we'd all love to have more availability for games. Obviously, Arsenal is a hot ticket. When start of the season and we're doing well, it's so hard to get tickets. The exchange and everything else is really great to be a part of, and it's I think the fairest way with a ticket tout and all that stuff that goes on. So it'll be interesting to see. It's going to take several years and several million, I imagine, to get this kind of job done. And I think in that time, then we're going to find ourselves at home in the Wembley Stadium, which is a little bit more difficult to get to. So again, how do people feel about that? Because it's not ideal if you're used to popping along to your North London stadium at the moment. So yeah, let me know your thoughts. But it's exciting. It'd be great to see us expanding as a club. I mean, there's a lot going on. We've been a very busy club this last 5 years or so, but we're always kind of looking to expand. And I think we're coming up to the 20th anniversary for the Emirates Stadium as well. So kind of watch this space. But yeah, it'll be stunning, but going to take time. Just want to touch on the contract renewal talks. Obviously, we've had this week with David Raya, obviously being improved. Talks with Julian Timber still going ahead at the moment. And obviously then Saka is also in talks, we understand, for a renewing contract. So I think just shows you the kind of force we are. I think most players that we want, key players, that we are just going, it's not waiting. We're just getting it done, getting the job done. And I think this is a real big thing going forward. I think if you're in that team now as one of the players, and all of your colleagues around you are getting kind of improved contracts, better contracts, extensions to contracts, I think it just gives you the kind of reassurance going forward for us as fans as well. What we want to have, and we want these players around. We're clicking. The longer we play together, they're going to be even better. And we have got some absolute ballers in the team. Ray has been unbelievable for the last 2 seasons. Golden Glove twice, probably on for a third, as we've talked about before. Timber's an amazing player, and obviously I think he's been underrated, I think, and I think people are really seeing what he's made of now. Obviously he's away with the international squad as well with the Netherlands. I think I've made a couple of notes, but he played a full 90, I think, for the Netherlands as well, in their 4-0 win. That was over Malta. And I think they're on kind of target for their second successive World Cup qualification there. So it'll be good to see him there. Obviously, we don't want any of these injuries creeping up, but he's been playing really well for club and country from that point of view, which is fantastic. So all may it continue. But I think there's a lot of players on international duty. We're pretty one of the most capped teams out there at the moment. I think there was a list apart from the odd injury player who's not gone, and I think that's says a lot about the team. From that point of view, we've got top international players throughout the team, so that's really good to see. And obviously Saka, we said it before, but he is Arsenal through and through. So we fully expect that to be signed, improved. Probably going to be the highest paid player in the club, I would imagine. He's been helping carry the team the last few seasons, and from left back to right wing, what a kind of story this guy's had. And obviously we hit milestones last week, obviously with his 200th appearance and his 100th goal involvement, and that was 55 goals, 45 assists, which is incredible for the man of his age. And there's other records that are coming up we're going to talk about as well for Saka. Obviously England played midweek, obviously against Wales. Nice to see Captain Rice. Unbelievable player. Rice, he's obviously second time he's captained. Obviously there was a injury to Kane, so obviously Rice has stepped into the shoes with a big, victory over Wales. It was done within 20 minutes. We scored within inside 3. I think it was Morgan Rogers who scored, Ollie Watkins, and obviously player of the match, Bukayo Saka scored an unbelievable goal, and I want to see him starting scoring like this for the club. Obviously took on a player, bent it round the keeper on his left foot, curled it round to the top left-hand corner. It was a fantastic goal. If you haven't seen it, go back and look at the replays. I know some people don't like to follow the international, and I kind of keep an eye on it just to see how we're performing. But we played well, and I think we've got one other game to play in a couple of days' time from that point of view. But Saka won player of the match. We also had Miles Lewis-Skelly come on for the last 10 minutes, replacing John Stones, so getting some minutes in his legs as well to see him playing. So we want him to be playing more, from that point of view. But it's good to see him out there as well. And obviously on this match, so Saka had broken a record that was held by Cliff Bastion for 86 years, which is absolutely madness. So essentially Saka has now scored 13 goals for England, and he's the highest scoring Arsenal player in an England shirt, which is impressive. And that record says stood for 86 years. So Saka's just breaking records all over the place. So he's an unbelievable player, and I think he's only so young. I think he's 24 still, so he's got a lot of football ahead of him, more records to break, and I'm sure we'll see them as well. So really great from Saka's point of view, and we want to see more. So let's see who plays obviously midweek on their next game. But obviously I'll be watching. Everyone was a friendly, but this is more of a obviously qualifier. But we're basically breezing through, bringing the World Cup for next year. I'll get more excited when the World Cup gets here. I don't know about you, but I love the tournament, but the build-up and the qualifications and the international breaks, I'm not a massive fan of. I just want to see the Premier League continue. So watch this space. But really good, really, really positive performance from our boys. Obviously, Martin Zubimendi, he got player of the month, and I think he got goal of the month as well from that point of view. He's had a really good start at Arsenal. What an absolutely fantastic player Zubimendi is. He's one of my favourites. I've actually got him on the back of this home shirt as well. So he signed when I was ordering it. So I was like, that's going on the back. No regrets on that one at all. So really, really positive start for Martin. Would love to see him score more because he's not known for scoring, and he scored 2 in one game, and it was fantastic. The one he won for, the volley was just unbelievable. Obviously, slight deflection, but just an absolute bullet. and we want to see more, and hopefully that continues for Martin. So well done to him. Obviously, Arsenal's Player of the Month is I don't know, he's come back, hasn't he? Martinelli, Gabriel Martinelli. I think we all deep down, we've always loved Martinelli. He's been with us for a long, long time, and but we know he's struggled, in the past seasons. It's always been hard. He's always had competition for his position. He's never maybe necessarily a starter at the moment. Sometimes he is, sometimes he isn't. He's always sort of him and Trossard kind of rotating. No one's really kind of got that left side down, but he's had some really impactful performances, which is great to see. He's an amazing player. He's a talent, and I think if he continues to improve, and I think if we can put more balls through to him rather than just expect him to try and beat his man, because we know there's a problem with decision making, and I think if he can just sort that part of his game out, he's a fantastic player. But if not, great off the bench, and our bench has been amazing. But so well done to him for Player of the Month this month of September. So I don't know if anyone's come across this today, but I heard this morning that the former Arsenal and England star Jack Wilshere has agreed to become Luton Town's new manager, and is expected to be confirmed early next week. I love Jack, and obviously he was a hell of a player, bar the injuries. I think I see him some interviews and talk sport and stuff during the week, and he's just a nice guy. And I think he's always been waiting for the right situation, the right time to take his first proper managerial job. So we wish him all the best. But I thought it was an interesting story to kind of keep a track of. Obviously love Jack, and hope he does really well. Keep an eye on that and keep on Luton, because I know they've not been doing fantastic, but under his kind of management, he's really good, player kind of management on that side. And obviously he's worked a lot with the youth team as well, so it'll be interesting to see how well he does on that side of things. So good luck to Jack on that side of things, and kind of watch for that to be announced early next week. But if you haven't heard that, you heard it here first. So there was a little bit of a story I'd seen on this. So we had our former defender Jakub Kiwior. I'm just going to bring this up because I had the story down, but he had claimed that basically Mikel Arteta did not want him to leave during the summer window. He said the decision was mutual and influenced by limited playing time. And obviously, from his point of view, you fully understand. You wanted to play him week in, week out. He's always had, Gabriel Saliba. He was there as backup, and he's had, some great performances when they've been out injured or rotated, and I think he played really well for us. I really like him as a player, obviously Polish international as well. And I think he's doing really, really well where he's gone to. So obviously he's out on loan at the moment, I believe. And obviously, I don't know if he's going to come back, but I think he'll just want to be out there. So I think it's, not long until he's gone officially. But we wish him all the best as well. But it's just interesting to sort of get their takes on that. But obviously, Arteta was a big fan. But then we've been lucky enough to have people like Mosquera come in, which again was an absolute bargain. He's been performing extremely well from that point of view. Really good backup. Again, youngster at 19 years old. But we wish Kiwior the best for that point of view. So really, really positive, to see him doing so well. I think he's over in Porto, isn't he? So, but yeah, fair play. And then, a player I really like, to be fair. Now, I don't know if anyone else has come across this, but so Arsenal face a suspended fine of 500 grand, quite a bit of money. It was alleged that the Arsenal was last year's third round cup tie against Man United. Basically, essentially what they've said is the allocation wasn't big enough. I think the rules are it's 15% you've got to give to the away fans. I think 15% must work out roughly about 12,000. I think we only provided 8. So supposedly we've not complied to the rules. What they've kind of said and why it's suspended, from what I'm reading, is that they're basically going to see how we perform with the allocations going forward in the upcoming matches. And I think if we're doing what we should be with the 15% and everything else, I think this will just go away. But obviously, fair play. I think they have to look at these things. Because if there's no way around, we'd want as many seats as we can to go and support our team. But obviously, it appears that something's been breached. And we don't know all the ins and outs of it. Is it a case that they couldn't sell theirs out? I'm sure that's probably not the case. But obviously, we've just not provided maybe enough for them. So watch this space. But it's just something that popped up in a couple of days ago this week. So I thought it was always interesting to know what's going on in the background of and world of Arsenal. So, and from that point of view, it was quick weekly roundup for me. I'm going to be trying doing some more kind of live streams kind of most days with kind of news of the day and stuff like that. In the background, I'm kind of looking at producing kind of standalone videos about the club, legends, bits like that, players, all these kind of bits to kind of just something a bit different for me, as well. So, but I do want to get to a point where we're having set live streams. So realistically, if you're watching this and wanting to maybe view more in the evenings and stuff like that, my plan is to kind of stream around pretty sort of between 8 9 p.m. most evenings, and ranging depending how busy we are. If there's people in the comments and we're having chats and debates and stuff like that, all for it. We've got a few people who are interested in coming on and speaking with me. And we can talk, a little bit more. I've got a guy who's reached out and would like to talk about more about the women's team because it's not something I'm as familiar with. I do, follow it, but not as strongly as the men. Just unfortunately the way it is. But I would like to add that in if people are interested as well. So but there's lots we can do, debate. And add down the line, from all, that point of view. Also, we could look at adding in kind of fantasy football teams for us if we get a big enough people wanting to kind of get involved. But I'll share all these kind of bits across TikTok and Instagram and stuff like that. And if you come across me, if you've seen my face and you kind of want to follow along, a subscription, subscribe. It really does help. We're kind of building up. It's only been a week and we're heading towards the 50 subscribers. So I'll take everything we can from that point of view. And anyone who gets a chance to like it and view it and share it, obviously it goes a long way from a young channel. We're kind of fourth episode in and just having fun doing it from that point of view. So it's very much at this stage, it's just a fun hobby and something we love to talk about from just something we watch in day in, day out and follow, especially with social media nowadays. Everything's so accessible from that point of view. But if you haven't, reach out, talk, and subscribe. But I really appreciate it, guys. And let me just end this, and I will see you tomorrow between 8 and 9. If you want to come catch up and reach out, that's when I'll be on next. Thank you. Cheers. Bye. And come on, you gunners.